Ravi sir, we shall start, sir.
Sir?
We shall start, sir. The students
Okay,
will
okay.
join later. Okay, let's not
Okay, sir.
the biggest
Sir,
waiting. Yes,
am I audible, sir?
yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Uh, a very good afternoon to all the respected dignitaries, colleagues, and my dear students and friends. I welcome you all for this webinar. And this webinar, which is on skill set for mechanical engineering students, and which is taken up by the design tech, the technology for designing the future. Dear students, I told you, as we are the mechanical engineering students, facing a lot of problems to find out nice opportunities or the available chances to find out the internship as well as the placement part of the thing. So with that concern, we from the mechanical department with the help of either under the guidance of respected principal sir and from the management of Nagarjuna College of Engineering and Technology, we are conducting a webinar in order to give you a proper guidelines and suggestions about the internship and the placement with respect to the various technologies. As a part of that, today we are here with the persons from Design Tech. So they're going to give you a lot of information, or they're going to share you a lot of information about the skill set which is required for a good mechanical engineer in order to get a place in a reputed company. So with these few words about the design tech company, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries. Firstly, I would like to welcome Anil Kumar H, who is a coordinator from the Design Tech Systems Limited, and he is the person behind for organizing this webinar. He given the permission from the Design Tech. He is one of the major coordinator from the Design Tech company. Sir, I welcome you for this webinar. So I also would like to extend my heartful welcome to today's speaker of the session, Mr. Aman Gimire, Engineer Technical Service, Design Tech Systems Limited. Sir will going to take the next 1 hour session, and he will going to share detailed information about the Design Tech solutions which they are providing the opportunities and the chances for the mechanical engineer students for getting a placement as well as to get an opportunity for the internship. Sir, on behalf of the Department of Mechanical Engineering and from the Nagarjuna College of Engineering and Technology, I would like to welcome Mr. Aman Gimire, sir. Sir, wholeheartedly welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So I also would like to extend my heartful welcome to our respected principal, Dr. Jitendra Mungara, sir, for this webinar. So also I would like to welcome Dean R&D, Dr. Kumar sir, and also Dean IQAC, Mr. Mohan Kumar sir. And also I would like to welcome Controller of Examination, Dr. Yogesh sir. And
Thank you, Mr. Ravi.
thank you, sir. And I also would like to extend my heartful welcome to our respected head of the department, Dr. Kantraju sir, for this webinar. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I also would like to welcome Mr. Satyanarayana Raju sir for this webinar. Sir, I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. So with these words, I would like to extend my thanks to our my sincere welcome to all my dear colleagues as well as the participants and my dear students. Welcome you all for this the webinar once again. So with this welcome note, now I would like to request our respected head of the department, Dr. Kantaraju sir to speak a few words about this webinar. Sir, please address the gathering.
So thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all. I'll just actually modify Ravi sir's statement. There are no dearth of opportunities for mechanical engineering. The opportunities is for employable engineers. Okay, so employability matters. If one has to be employable, what kind of a skill sets one should have? One should focus on it. Okay, so this actually organization is Design Tech. It is associated with GTDC. GTDC is a government tool room and training center, and it is based in Bangalore. And it is actually they have an association with the Siemens also. And actually, Sri Ravi and Sri Aman Gire will be in a position to actually explain their relationship in better. And these people, I'm an institution has been actually the professional trainer for various courses or actually are in the domain such as the CAD, design, engineering, digital manufacturing, numerically control, NC programming, robotics, etc., etc., which are all the futuristic domains which are the engineers. And there is one provision here wherein actually there is a tie-up. There is a facility of free training through Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana through these institutions. That's what actually interests us more. Okay, whoever is interested, whoever is eligible can make use of these opportunity. Whoever is training for looking for the internship opportunities, this is one great opportunity, and you will be exposed to the updated technologies. Okay. With this, actually, the resource person will be in a better position to put throw a light on all these areas. Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. Make the best use of this session. Interact with the resource person. He has come all the way from his place to you, okay, to share his experience. You should make the best use of it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable words. And I now request Controller of Examination, Dr. Yogisha sir, to please share his thoughts about this webinar.
Yeah, Mr. Ravi, thank you for giving me opportunity to share my thoughts on this platform. I feel what our HOD, below HOD has told, Dr. Kantaraju has told, there is no dearth of opportunities for mechanical engineers. Sure, that is what the employable mechanical engineers, what is highlighted. So what is that makes mechanical engineers employable? So that is what actually the topic of discussion today, the resource person will throw light on that topic. That is what the skill set for mechanical engineers for employability. So that word we can add at the end. That's what the skill set for mechanical engineers for employability. So if you add that word, so that is what the apt title for today's webinar, right? That is what our Design Tech resource persons will throw light on that. So what skill sets you should have, right? How to acquire those skill sets, and with those skill sets, so where you will be placed, right? And how the employability improves with those skill sets. I think the resource persons of the day will throw light on that, and they will always helping us in all our activities, in all our endeavors. I think in the last 4 or 5 years, along with Dr. Kapilan, they were all interacting. Like I have seen them, right? So they were interacting with our earlier HOD, Dr. Kapilan also. Now also they came forward. I thanked them on behalf of the Nagarjuna College of Engineering as well as the Department of Mechanical Engineering for extending their help in improving the employability of mechanical engineers. of our college as well. So this particular webinar may be helpful even for our staff members also, who will also actually will be enlightened with the knowledge that are being given by our resource person. I think with this, I hope this webinar will be successful and our student community will be benefited from this webinar. Thank you, Mr. Ravi, for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your participation and sharing your valuable thoughts about this webinar. Once again, very thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I now would like to hand over the session to Mr. Aman Gimire. Sir, I'm going to stop screen sharing now. So please start your session now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
Uh,
valuable words and valuable time, right? Before
Aman,
we
sir, now you can share your screen, sir.
okay, sir, just a minute. Okay. Am I being audible, right?
Yes, sir. You're audible. We can see your screen also.
Okay. Like before starting our session, right? Let me introduce myself. My name is Aman Gimire, and I'm a representative of Design Tech, right? And right now we are having a webinar regarding our courses as well as our center of excellence, right? And this center of excellence is having a three pillar. Okay, the first pillar will be our company, that is Design Tech, right? The second pillar will be GTTC, and the third pillar will be Siemens. Okay, so basically the COE or this project, the COE is the project, and this project is like a joint collaboration in which GTTC is providing the infrastructure, right? Siemens is providing all the tools and the software, and we are providing a service for this project itself, right? So without any further ado, shall we start with the webinar itself, right?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. You
Okay,
can
Yeah,
share.
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay, fine. So we will go with the slides, right? So first slides, we do have integrated product and production life cycle, right? So
Aman,
this
sir.
is,
Aman,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Sorry for the interruption. So will you please maximize the screen?
Maximize the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will make it 90.
No, no, here you come to presentation mode.
Okay,
Like
wait,
you
wait.
press
Press
F9
F5.
button, F9 button,
F9.
F5.
F
F5.
F5. Okay,
Sir, F9 will lock my screen, sir. Wait.
great. Okay. Or else
F5,
there
sir.
is F5.
F9 has locked the button. F5. Okay. So this is F5, right?
So, share the screen, sir. First,
The
share the
screen.
screen. Yeah,
Screen.
yeah. Share the screen and you press F.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, it's now. Yeah, it's now fine, sir.
Okay. So we will start with the basic or the most important thing as a mechanical engineer to study the product and production life cycle, right? Without wasting any time, we will directly jump into the webinar part itself, right? So the first step of your product and production life cycle is CAD, right? So that is computer aided design. Okay, we will take one example and we will see all the domain with respect to the same example itself, right? This is how it is easy to understand each and every domain at a single time. Okay, so first we will take one example of a cell phone, right? So here under CAD, first thing first, what to design and from where to design. right? This question will pop up, right? What to design? Maybe it will it will come from a market or it will come from the customer. Basically, a design engineer or a CAD design engineer will get this part from either a market or either from a customer, right? Now, if he got first I need to design a phone, I need to design a cell phone, right? Then how is the design will look like? How am I going to design my phone? What will be the specification of my phone, right? What is the camera build, camera quality, battery quality, everything, right? Regarding my cell phone, we will do it under CAD itself, right? So all the brainstorming session, all the designing part and all the drafting part will be done over CAD part, right? Once you come out of the CAD, then you have a fully designed phone, right? A design of your phone that you need to manufacture is with you, right? Once you are done with the designing, you will go with the CAE part, right? So under CAE part, we do all kind of engineering analysis. For example, we will take heat analysis, right? Or the thermal analysis, we can say, right? So for the same phone, if we run the phone for n number of time or n time period, right? Is there is any heating problem or is there any internal issue regarding your design, right? All the engineering aspect we will check under CAE, that is computer aided engineering, right? So once you're done with the engineering part, if you find any deflection, right? If you find any problem with the design, again that product will go to the CAD, right? And there the product or the design will go undergo the modification part. Once the modification is done, it is like a to and fro motion until all the analysis or all the engineering aspect of your design is completely fulfilled, right? So once you're done with the CAE part, you will go for CPDM, that is product data management, right? Here we will store all the data regarding your product, not like an initial product, but a final product that came out from the product design part, right? So altogether, this thing we will capture it under product design, right? So first step will be a CAD where we will design, right? Second will be CAE where we will have all the analysis or engineering aspect of the design, right? We will see all the engineering aspect of the design, and later we will go for product data management where all the data regarding your product, for example, phone screen size, right? The second example will be like a battery size, or third will be like the camera specification. Okay, so all the specification related thing or the all the product data related thing will be captured over here, right? So this is what we have under product design. Okay, now we are going to have a production design. Till now my product is done, my product is ready to go in the market, right? Now we are going for production planning, and for production planning we do have digital manufacturing, right? Under digital manufacturing we are going to plan our product, we will going to plan our plant first, right? Or also we will go to simulate how my plant is going to run, right? For example, if there is a conveyor, right? If there is a conveyor and we need to keep each and every machine on some manner that if my raw material is coming through one side of conveyor, right? It will from move to one station to another station followed by n number of station, whatever the station that we made, right? So that at the last of my conveyor we will get a fully fledged assembly itself, right? So all the simulation regarding digital manufacturing is done under production planning itself, right? So the next one we will go for process design. Process design is we will see inside that individual cell, right? For example, if you are going for a welding process, right? If you are planning for a welding process, we will see the simulation of a welding process first, right? And then we will go for a real base environment, or we are going to create the simulation in the computer or a laptop or whatever the device we have, right? And from that simulation, if my plant get passed or if my process get passed, then we are going to have a real base manufacturing factory or a real base manufacturing production plan over there. So if you see, right, on the left side itself, right, this is all the virtual development of your product, right? From CAD to factory design, all the things we will do with the help of system itself, right? Till here, nothing is made, nothing is fabricated, and nothing is production in the real based object, right? So this part, half part, is called virtual development, and after that we will go with the real based production, right? On the half side of the right part, you can see this is called real based production, and there we will have automation design, right? And under automation design, we have TIA portal. TIA portal is a device, or you can say the software, which is used for automation itself, right? So now the simulation of a plant is done. What to design from CAD, we have get that thing, right? And all the analysis part we get from CAE itself, right? So virtually we have developed the product. Now we are going to set up the plant, right? Once the plant is set up, right, here we will see two things under automation. Either you want to create your plant semi-automatic or fully automatic, right? So if you are going to create a semi-automatic plant, that means machine as well as manpower will work hand to hand, right? So for operating that plant or for operating that factory itself, right, we need to have a machine as well as manpower, right? But if you are going for fully automatic thing, right, or fully automatic plant, then maybe or may not be the manpower is required, right? So it will be like pretty much clear that from one side of your conveyor, the raw material will pass, all the machining, all the process, all the whatever the process you want to do on that machining or on that raw material, right, it will do automatically. And at another side of your conveyor, you will get a fully finished automatic or fully finished assembly of your product itself, right? So this is automation design. And last one, we do have production, and for production we can use CNC machine, right? So this is what we have under product and production life cycle, right? Apart from this, we do have a lots and lots of things. For example, sales is there. If you have produced it, right, we will have quality control, we will have sales, marketing, and till scrapping itself, right? If you design one phone and for example, we will take the life expectancy of the phone is like 5 years, right? So what happened after 5 years? Are you going to throw them, right? That thing also come under life cycle of that product. But we right now we are only focused with the product and production life cycle. So under production life cycle, it will start from the CAD, means it will start from conversion of your imagination into a reality, right? Whatever you thought you design, and that design will convert into a real based object. That is the main agenda of product and product life cycle part. Okay, so if you have any question, if you have any query, right, please feel free to ask at any time, right? So if you don't have anything to ask, then we are moving with each and every domain at a time, right? So the first domain that we have is computer aided design or CAD itself, right? So CAD provide a solution for design actually, or you can say it provide a solution for your product development, right? Under product design and under product development, we do have a different type of activities or different kind of topics that we need to cover. First one, if you're going for product design, right? If you are basically going for a product design, or if you are a CAD engineer and if you are going for a product design, then we can work with 3D modeling, we can work with assembly, we can work with sheet metal, and so on, right? These are the few example only, right? Apart from this, there are n number of things under product design that we can do, right? Similarly, if you are going for industrial design and in industrial styling, right, there we do have free form modeling or reverse engineering, right? If you know CAD or if you know computer aided design, these are the area where you can search a job or where you can pursue your career, right? Apart from that, there is another thing that is called drafting and documentation. Okay, so here you will get to know about 2D layout, drafting, and product and manufacturing information. Okay, that's the next part is electromechanical designing, right? Under this part we do have mechanical CAD and electrical CAD integration. This part is basically the combination of electrical part or electronics part and mechanical part, right? All sort of PCB design, all sort of wiring and routing, and all sort of harnessing is conducted over here, right? The next one is process specification. Okay, under process specification is like, this is particularly based on that process only. For example, welding, right? You know that welding, for welding you can do a physical welding on your welding machine itself, but through the CAD also you can learn how to design for a welding part, right? This is like a process specific thing. Or you can learn how to do the mechanical routing, for example piping, right? That thing you can also do with the CAD. And these are the few area where you can pursue your career as a product designer, as a reverse engineer, as a draftman, or as a mechanical electromechanical designer, right? So these are the area, if you learn CAD, right, you can pursue your career over there, right? The next thing we will see, computer aided engineering. Okay, here we will see all the engineering aspect or all the analysis aspect of a product. Basically same phone, a same example of a phone, right? Suppose you are joining, or you are joining one industry, or you want to pursue the career in CAE, that is computer aided engineering, right? As an CAE engineer, right, what you have to do, you have to do all sort of analysis with your product, right? As for the phone, if you are talking, we will have a motion analysis, we will have a thermal analysis. If you are going for analysis of a vehicle, right, we do have a vibration analysis, and we will have a torque or displacement, and all sort of engineering parameter analysis is there for you to do inside this domain, right? In the system, if you see in the screen, if you are seeing, there are two software that is called FEMAP and NX. Okay, these are the two software that we are providing for our CAE part, right? So basically these two are from Siemens side, right? And generally in the market right now, NX is the leading software for all sort of product development. Okay, so for CAE as well as for CAD also we can use NX, Siemens NX. Okay, so over here you can see on the screen, right, the aeroplane is having some sort of color variation, right? And the next one, the elevator or the JCB excavator is having some sort of motion analysis, right? So here we will check whatever the force we are exerting on our product, right? What is the effect of that force on our product, right? With respect to, like, for example, displacement, with respect to our force, with respect to our torque, right? So based on our parameter, how my product is going to react. If my product fails over here, right, if my product fails over here, again that product has to go for CAD part, right? On the designing part, we do have some sort of modification. We will do some sort of modification based on the analysis report that we get from CAE. Again, it will come to CAE, and once CAE passed it, we are good to go for manufacturing. Okay. So the next one is CAM, that is computer aided manufacturing. Okay. So this computer aided manufacturing means we are using computer for creation of simulation for your manufacturing process, right? Here we do have a preparation part, here we do have a programming part, here we do have a production part with help of computer on our system itself, right? So what to prepare, right? Under preparation we will do like what to manufacture, right? That thing we will have from CAD, that thing we will analyze through CAE, and then we will come to CAM part, right? Once we get how to what to prepare, right, then we will go for programming, and under programming we will answer the question is like how to prepare, right? So we will add all sort of programming for our machining to drill. For example, if drilling is there, we will write a program for drilling and give the tool path so that the tool will move from left to right, front to back, or top to bottom, right? Whatever our requirement is based on our product, right? Once we are done with product programming, then we will transfer that product or programming to a real based machine itself, right? Once the programming is converted or transferred from a system to a machine, and then the machine will work automatically or it will work semi automatically depending on your machine to create your final product itself. Okay, so this is computer aided manufacturing over here, right? So the next domain will be product life cycle management. Okay, under this product life cycle management, we will have each and every aspect of your product. Basically, if you are seeing the screen right, first one is planning. This first step of PLM is planning, right? Under planning, we will see what to design, how to design, and where to design, right? So planning is followed by styling, styling is followed by designing. Here we will design, later we will go for simulation, right? If our product passed the simulation, we will go for a tooling part, right? After tooling, we are going for machining. After we have done the machining, if it is like a standalone part, then no need of assembly, or else if it is like a part of assembly, then we are going for an assembly purpose, right? For assembly, either we want to do it manually or either we want to use a robot, right? And after robot, we are going to have a plant, then quality control, then production, supply, and finally the support for your product, right? So all together, this make the product life cycle, right? From the planning phase to the support phase, right? Everything in between comes under product life cycle management, right? And for product life cycle management, we have Teamcenter as a software, right? And we will put each and every detail of your product on each and every stage of its life cycle under one software itself, right? For example, if you are a CAD designer or if you are a robotics engineer, right? So you both can use the same software to store your data, right? The same PLM software can be used by design engineer also, can be used by plant engineer also, can be used by robotics engineer also. Okay, so this is a very important tool for product lifecycle management, and the software that we are having right now is Teamcenter over here, right? So this is product lifecycle management. Over here we can see the organizational view of PLM, right? Means who can use PLM, right? So technically, these are the only few people who can use PLM right now because of the space constraint and all. Right, we can only place few people over here. For example, if you are an administrator people, if you are a designer, if you are a project manager, or if you are a scientist itself, right, you all can use a same software at the same time. Okay, but apart from this also many people are there who can use PLM. So generally if you put in a general way, like every people associated with the product itself can use PLM. Okay, so under PLM platform, classification is there, bill of material management is there, change the management, requirement management, the next part is CAD, and the final one is document management, right? All the things we can done with the help of PLM itself, right? The next part is test and optimization, that is TNO. Okay, so under TNO we do have two different labs. That is, the first one is Imagine Lab. Okay, under Imagine Lab what we will do, for example, if you are designing a car, before manufacturing itself we are going to check the simulation and all the engineering need of that car itself. So over here what we will do, we will convert that 3D model of a car into the 1D model of a car, right? Once we are using 1D model of a car over here, on that same 1D model we will see all the engineering needs based on your design itself, right? For example, if I created 1D model of a car, right, and I will go for a collision test, right? What happen if my car running at the speed of 100 miles per hour or like 120 kilometer per hour and it hits the wall, right? What will be the effect of that impact on my car, right? That thing we will study over here under LMS Imagine Lab, right? And the second part for test and optimization is testing. This is purely testing, right? Here we do test of machinery on the base of structure, on the base of its dynamic, acoustic, durability, and environmental testing itself, right? For example, if I'm planning to design one aeroplane, right? The same example that you are seeing on the screen. Let's consider we have designed one aeroplane over there, right? So under this thing, under this topic, what we are going to do is we are going to check the structural part of that model, the dynamic part of that model, the vibration part of the model, right? The control of that model, and finally the pressure, durability, right? At what altitude we can run that airplane, each and everything, right? We can test under test and optimization part, right? This thing will come totally under your CAE domain. Okay. The next one is CNC programming laboratory. Okay, so for this is a field where we are using computer to control the operation of a machine generally, right? For this we are using Cinemeric 808D as well as Cinemeric 840D SL. So what we are going to do over here is, before, if you are a freshman, right? If you are a freshman and if you are going for a CNC job, right, then nobody is giving you a direct experience on a CNC machine. Like for example, you are not going to work directly on a CNC machine itself, right? First you are going to work with the software that simulate the CNC machine or to simulate the working of CNC machine, right? So for that, Cinemeric 808D and Cinemeric 840 DSL it is, right? Here the HMI will be the same, the working will be the same, but you are not working with a real base machine, but you are only simulating how the machine will work in the real base environment, right? Then once you done the simulation, then once you done understanding your machine, right? If I use this command, what will happen? If I use the another command, what it will happen, right? If you understand this part, then you are going to work with directly CNC machine. Okay, so this is like the early stage if you are interested in CNC programming part, right? This is the early stage for CNC programming part, and the next one is CNC machine, right? The two example of CNC machine is CNC turning machine, and the second one is like 5-axle vertical milling machine, right? So if you look over here, the interface of your CNC machine and the interface of Cinemeric 808D is exactly same. So it's like if you are working with a simulation, you will give the experience to how to work with machine, right? And after that, if you know how to work with the machine, then you can come over the machine and you can start working with the machine itself, right? So this part is completely come under the production part. Okay, so previously till T and O, we two are going for virtual based object, and over here, this CNC machine we are going to create a real based product over here. Okay, so the next one is robotics, right? So generally, right now in the market, if you see, right, if you are basically going for a production based thing, production based office or production based factory, right? And if that company or that factory is like producing a huge number of batch production, right? Then what happened? They are not going to do it manually, or they are not going to do it semi-automatically also. They are going to use a fully automatic cell itself, right? And for that, we or the people in the industry or the people in the market use robot for that. Okay, so for robotics, if you don't know anything about robotics, right? So KUKA is the robot, is the what you call the parent company of a robot, right? And KUKA KR6R900. This is the full name of a robot that you are seeing on the screen. Okay, so here what you are going to see is how to start material handling of your application, right? Generally, if you watch YouTube video and all, right, there you can see the material handling part, right? Your body frame is handled by one robot. It will come to one station. A welding is done. Again, it will go with the conveyor to another station, right? For that part, we are using robotics, or generally people are in the market are using robotics, right? And the robotics have, if you consider the robot itself, the robot have three different component in itself, right? The first one is manipulator, right? The manipulator or robot arm itself. Okay, the second one is controller, right? And the third one is teeth pendant over here. So basically manipulator is the output device. Okay, if you consider is like output input device, the manipulator is the part which do the work for you, right? The next thing is controller. Controller is basically the CPU of a robot. Okay, and the third one is teach pendant, and the teach pendant, it can be considered as like a tablet in which you can see and in which you can write the program, right? Here I do have one video over here. I'm going to play a video, right, for you guys. Here we can see the working of a robot, basically, right? And this robot we are using for material handling application, right? So the program that we have written is for handling one robot, one table, follow that pen, follow the contour of that pen, right? After that, put it on the position where it has to put. Okay, so this is one basic example of robotics, right? So this is one basic example of robotics, and the robot is totally, the application of a robot is totally based on tool attached with the robot, right? I can use the same robot for n number of application at the same time, right? If I change the tool of a robot, for example, right now in your screen we do have vacuum gripper or pneumatic gripper, you can say, right? So this is called pneumatic gripper. This is used for material handling purpose, right? If I replace the tool from a pneumatic gripper to a welding torch, right? From the same robot, I can take a different application. For example, I can use the same robot for material handling also. And if I change the tool, I can use the same robot for welding purpose also, right? So this is material handling, and this come under robot itself, right? So same thing, robot can be used for different application itself. For example, if you talk about welding, MIG welding is there, TIG welding is there, and plasma arc welding is there. Okay. So the total difference or the only difference is based on the tool place or mount on the robot itself. Okay. And the next one, basically, this part is used by aerospace engineering people, right? For example, if you want to do manufacturing a whole in aeroplane itself, right? An aeroplane consists of almost like tens of thousands of spot welding over there, right? For doing the tens of thousands of auto spot welding, we are not going to do it manually. Instead, we are using a robot in that industry to complete our work much faster and much quicker with having a higher accuracy than a human one, right? So these are the application and of robotics, right? That will come under the domain of robot, right? The next domain will be rapid prototyping. Okay, so rapid prototyping is considered as the leading domain in the industry for mechanical engineering. Okay, so it is like whatever design you have created with the help of CAD, right? Before going or without going to the production itself, you can use this technology for creating a 3D part of that product, right? Without going to CNC machine, without doing all sort of process, for example, without doing the welding, tooling, everything, you can just come take the design from the CAD, come over here, right? We do have a RPT machine, that is rapid prototyping machine. You just feed that input, right? The design as an input for the machine, and this machine will create the product for you. Okay, so rapid prototyping refers to the product, a physical object that are automatically constructed with the aid of additive manufacturing technology, right? Here the principle is very much simple, right? The principle is like it will create a base first, right? For example, you do have a phone, you just place your phone on the table or bed, whatever, wherever you are right now, right? So it will create the base of your phone first, right? Then it will go with one layer of your phone moving to the top, right? So it will create one layer followed by another layer followed by another layer till you will get exactly what you designed for. Okay, so this is RPT, or this is rapid prototyping. Okay, so over here we do have a machine that is Stratus for 380 MC, and the software we have, it's called Insight 11.2. Okay, the next domain we are seeing is metrology. Under this domain we do the measurement part, right? Once this part will come under quality control or quality check part. right? Under PLM, under product lifecycle management. So here we will see a minute deflection or minute fracture in your product if you are going, if you came out from the machining one, right? So basically metrology is a study of measurement. Okay, so here what we will do is, like, if you are going for metrology, then your company have some sort of standard, right? And within that standard you have to check either your product will come or not. For example, if my thickness, for example, I'm just taking one example, if my thickness is 1 mm, right? If my product is having a thickness of 1 mm and that is within the range of my company standard, that is predefined standard, right? Then it is good for manufacturing, else it is bad for manufacturing, right? That thing, that measurement part we will see over here, right? So over here for metrology, there are n number of devices basically in the market. If you know CMM machine, that is coordinate measuring machine, right? So if you know CMM machine, that machine will help you get the job under metrology part, right? So apart from CMM machine, there is profile projector, there is microscopic, industrial microscopic, right? Through which we will measure, or we will have the study of measurement of your product, whatever product we are producing over there. Okay, so this is metrology. Next thing we will see the automation part, right? Automation basically means to control or to automate your industry, right? Initially itself I have told, like, it is either semi automatic or fully automatic, right? For that we can use PLC, right? And the second one we can use SCADA over here. Okay, so what happened actually is PLC is the tool, or PLC is the hardware that will do the work. For example, uh, suppose there is a conveyor, right? And conveyor is moving at its own speed. Okay, so I want to stop that conveyor after 5 seconds so that I can do a work on that conveyor, or the on the raw material that is placed on the conveyor, right? It will wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever the time it is, right? And after that time it will move on the same pace or on the same speed, right? Till my work is done. So that thing is controlled with the help of PLC. Okay, so all the signaling part is controlled with the help of PLC over here. And to see or to visualize this part, we do have SCADA, right? SCADA will give you the representation of your process, what is happening and where it is running out, right? So with the help of SCADA and with the help of PLC, we are going to automate each and every industry or each and every process in which machine is included. Okay, so basically automation is used on automobile industry and manufacturing industry, right? Where the manpower requirement, or where the accuracy, or where the time limit is low, right? Within this time period we have to finish that thing. Some sort of that sort of task is there we are going for automation. Okay, so under automation, PLC is there, HMI is there, and SCADA is there, right? So PLC stands for Programmable Logic Controller. This controller will control each and every machine by its own. The next one is Human Machining Interface. This interface allow you and PLC to interact in between, right? And the next one is SCADA. SCADA will give you the graphic representation on your system, right? For example, if everything is set, right, and one PLC is fault in your plant, right, one PLC is not working in your plant, then with the help of SCADA you can see, okay, this PLC over here is not working and we have to rectify the problem over there, right? All the data and all the control regarding things you can do with the help of SCADA itself. right? The next domain is process instrumentation. Okay, so as the name say, under this domain, this is like a specific thing, right? Based on you as a mechanical engineering, if you are going for industry, right? Basically, if you are going for a food industry, right? For example, I'm just taking about example. If you are going for a food industry, right? For creating a food or for manufacturing a food, you must maintain a temperature throughout the process, right? Or else if you are going for a beverage industry, the level of beverage on a bottle, right? That thing we can measure or we can manipulate or we can see with the help of process instrumentation domain, right? So under this domain, we do have temperature sensor or we do have a level sensor, flow sensor. If you are going to measure the pressure, right? Pressure sensor is there, position sensor is there, right? So this is like calculating the process of your industry. Okay, so basically these are the process specific instrument that we are going to study under this domain, right? So these are the few instrument for different process. For example, if you are going to measure a level, right? Just consider a submarine on a sea, right? It want to measure the depth of the sea, right? For that, these are the instrument that we can use over there, right? Either the ultrasonic one, either the radar one, or the either the capti capacitance one, right? The next thing is if you want to measure the flow, right? Generally in hydropower, right? If you want to create, if you want to calculate the flow, right? We can use the ultrasonic or Coriolis instrument over there, right? Same thing for temperature, right? Food industry, pressure, or beverage industry. Okay, positioner. Basically, this is for manufacturing industry, right? And last one is software. These are the software that we. This is the software that we are using for or under this process instrumentation domain, right? Under software, there are n number of software in the market, right? That will give the output of this instrument on your desktop. Okay. So under process instrumentation, basically temperature, flow, level, pressure, and sensor are calculated. The next thing is mechatronics. Okay, so under mechatronics, if you are from the field of mechanical or if you are from the field of computer electronics and electrical engineering, right, you can get inside the field of mechatronics, right? This is like an integration between this all the field, right? Either it is like a mechanical field, either it is like an electronics field or electrical field, right? This is a fusion of these field, right? And here we do have a sorting setup for mechatronics. Okay, so here we do have one video over here. I will like to play a video for you. Okay, this is the last part of this video, right? This part is called sorting part, right? Here based on your material we are going to sort out the part. Okay, so this is just one example of mechatronics equipment. Okay, so this is one example in which first one is feeder station, right? Feeder station will feed the part on the system generally, right? So it will pick the part and it will feed the system, right? So the next one is testing station. Here we do all sort of testing. Basically right now what you have seen, right, it will test that product on the base of its height, right? If the height is within the range, it will go further, else it will dump over there itself, right? The next one is buffer station. Buffer station, or we can say the waiting station. Here the product will wait till the later part is completed, right? The next part is processing kit, right? Here we have to do all sort of processing. For example, right now we are doing a welding, right? The welding for this product. Okay. So once we have done the welding over here, it is good to go on the last stage, or else it will wait over there, right? So once processing station is finished, only then buffer will get input and it will send one product over there, right? And then lastly it is sorting station. Under sorting station we will sort different type of product based on a different type of feature itself. Right now we are going for material. For example, if it is like a wood material, or if it is like a iron material, or if it is like a carbon material, whatever the material is, right? Based on a material we are going to group it up, right? So if it is like a wood, it will go with the one section. If it is like a iron one, it will go with another section. If it is like a aluminum one, it will go with the third section. Okay, so this thing will come under mechatronics, right? The next domain is Internet of Things. Okay, so Internet of Things or IoT comes under fourth industrial revolution. Okay, so this will work hand by hand with mechatronics. So basically Internet of Thing means you can control your machine via internet, right? If you are close to the machine or away to the machine. Okay, for example, if you are coming, there is one general example or a basic example, right? Whenever the car comes to park on your garage, right, the garage door will open automatically so that you can park the car inside the garage. And once the car come inside the garage door will lock, right? This thing we can do with the help of IoT, right? For doing this we do have a Datonize software, right? With the help of Datonize software we can write a program to control your machine, right? And that machine can be anything. Either it can be a AC, it can be a microwave, heater, whatever the machine it is, right? So from one place to controlling your machine via internet, we can use IoT over here. Okay, so the next domain and the last domain will be renewable energy. Under this domain, we or engineer is going to see like how to create a natural energy or how to convert the natural energy, for example, like wind energy or solar energy into the electrical energy, right? That is called a renewable energy over here. Okay, so now you can see it's like right now for getting in electrical energy, what we are doing, we are going for a nuclear plant, either we are going for a thermal plant, or we are going for a hydro plant, right? So rather going with a nuclear plant, we can go rely on solar energy, or we can rely on wind energy for that, right? So the conversion of your solar energy and your conversion of your wind energy is calculated or is done within this domain itself, right? Here is one basic setup to understand the principle of wind power system, right? This is basic setup to understand the wind power system, and there is one fan over there. If you rotate that fan, right? The rotation of that fan generates the electricity, and the principle and the working of this system can be studied under this domain itself, right? So first one is wind power, and second one is solar power over here, right? Under this domain we have to study like what is a photovoltaic module, what is solar panel, how the power is distributed, how the power is stored, right? And what will be the discharge part. Okay, like if you know, you can't store the electricity for more time, right? There will be a discharge over there. So what will be the discharge thing, discharge parameter, what will be the hybrid generator, what is the working of a hybrid generator, everything we will see over this domain over, right? So with this thing we came to the end of all the domain that we are going to that we have seen, right? So now we will see the COE and the project with the domain and the lab that we have for each and every domain over here, right? So first one, COE. Under COE we do have a virtual lab, right? Under virtual lab, first domain is CAD and CAE, right? These two domain will come under PDB, that is product design and validation lab, right? The next one is advanced manufacturing. Under this lab we do have three domain, that is CAM, DM and PLM, that is computer aided manufacturing, digital manufacturing and product lifecycle management, right? The next one is test and optimization lab. Okay, and apart from this we do have electrical lab. Under electrical lab we have automation lab, internet of things, mechatronics and process instrumentation, right? Then we do have machine lab. Machine lab basically consists of ANSI programming lab, CNC lab and product a rapid prototyping lab, right? And the last one is robotics, metrology, renewable and DIAS lab. So basically COE have this all the 14 lab, and in each lab we do have n number of domain that we have studied or that we have seen in the past 1 hour, right? So these are the labs that we have. These are the list of the lab that we have: PDB, AM lab, T&O, NC programming, RPT, robotics, automation, process instrumentation, mechatronics, IoT, metrology and renewable energy. Okay, so these are the 14 lab that we are offering, and the course offer in each and every or each individual domain itself, right? So the course offer for CAD will be like essential part, synchronous modeling, intermediate modeling, drafting essential, freeform modeling and so on. Okay, same goes for CAE also. It will be like thermal and flow analysis, advanced simulation part. Okay, the next one course offer for CAM, DM and PLM. Okay, so these are the course that we are offering under this domain over here, right? The next one for course offer for metrology, we do have CMM machine, and these are the four course that has been offered for COE under metrology lab, right? The course offer for LMS, right? So this LMS will come under CAE domain. Last one is robotics. Under this one, we do have metal handling application, MIG welding, spot welding, TIG welding, and plasma welding. The next part is rapid prototyping or RPT, and the course offered is rapid prototyping. Same thing, IoT. These are the course offered under IoT and renewable energy itself. That is solar power system and wind power system, right? So basically we came to the end of our webinar, right? So at last also I would like to say, like, this is like a collaboration between Karnataka government, GTTC and Siemens side, right? And if you want to enroll within these courses, right? So these are the course fee and the duration, right? So basically, first one is basic course that will go for 1 month for 100 hours, right? And the course fee will be 4,000, right? Similarly, advanced course 3 months 8,000, and specialization will be 6 months and 16,000, right? Right now, the government of Karnataka is having a free courses for SC/ST student, right? As well as if you are from a general, there might be some quotas. For example, I don't exactly remember the number, but there is some quotas for SC/ST and general category, right? The in which if you enroll, you will get a free courses for under this scheme, right? So this is how to register, right? This link, if you want, I can share it to your lead faculty, or I can share it to your HOD sir itself, right? He can circulate this thing. This is the application form, and with this note, we came to the end of our webinar itself. If you have any question regarding any domain itself, please feel free to ask.
Dear students, if you have any doubts to ask or if you have any questions to get clarified, please you can ask the questions now.
Hello.
Huh, sir.
Why students have no questions, sir?
Okay,
Dear students,
that,
actually be proactive. If you have any questions regarding any domains, sir is an expert. He'll guide you where which is appropriate for you and how you can acquire that. All these is an opportunity. Whatever may be, he is also a language teacher. He'll understand you. If there are questions, maybe right, wrong, you forget. You just ask question, express yourself. Okay, sir, you can conclude, sir.
okay, sir.
Questions or queries, queries, you can actually give it to Ravi, sir. He will consolidate it and he present to Aman, sir.
Okay. Fine, sir.
Aman, sir, I will
Yes,
share
sir.
the feedback link to all the students and I'll collect the feedback of all the students, and
Okay,
that
sir.
I'll share with you, sir, later.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. If
Dear students, so with this, I would like to thank Aman Gimre sir for sharing his valuable information, which is related to various domains. Hope that this session, which is given plenty of information, because sir has covered all the aspects of the different domains of mechanical engineering field, like CNC, robotics, rapid prototyping, PLM, automation, mechatronics. Almost all the areas of mechanical engineering, sir was covered, and he was given a lot of information to the students. I hope all the students will utilize this information and will have a better planning to keep your career in a better path. So with this note, I'll take this opportunity to thank firstly today's speaker, Mr. Aman Gimire sir, for guiding and for giving such a wonderful information and for such a wonderful lecture to this in this webinar. On behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering and on behalf of Nagarjuna College of Engineering and Technology, from the management side, I would like to thank Aman Gimire sir for guiding and for giving such a wonderful information. Thank you so much, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for giving your time to me.
So I also would like to extend my sincere thanks to our respected principal, Dr. Jitendra Mungara sir, Dean R&D, Dr. Kumar sir, Dean IQAC, Dr. Mohan Kumar sir, and Head of the Department, Dr. Kantraju sir, Controller of Examination, Dr. Yogisha sir, and also I would like to thank all my dear colleagues and my dear students, friends for your participation in this webinar and make this webinar successful. Thank you so much. So with this, I'll go to wind up today's webinar. Thank you so much, dear friends, for your participation. Sir, I once again thank
Sir,
you.
just 1 second, sir.
Sir.
Dear friends, it's just a reminder, okay? Design Tech, actually, they provide free training through, actually, under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Get the information from them, make use of it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
underline this, okay?
Okay, sir. I will collect, sir. I'll collect the information and I'll share with the students, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone. And I'll go to wind up this session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.